this idea of acceptance, the acceptance of what's happening in the moment for you, for your life a little bit. I suppose I started this practice, I was introduced to it anyway, I was a fairly young man, maybe early 20s. I was lucky enough to have a college instructor who was willing to teach us meditation. And, being 20-something at that age, I thought meditation would make me into a Superman or something, some superhero. It didn't quite work out that way. But I tried, and I would go on retreats and things, and a few retreats, and then it was always a struggle. It was always, a lot of dukkha, a lot of suffering. Why am I my mind settled down and all this? And there was one retreat where I was just a little bit miserable. It was hot in the meditation hall. It wasn't air conditioned. They had this fan that would blow back and forth. It's about every 30 seconds or so, the fan would, blow your hair and then go back again. And for some reason, I just came right into the present moment. After struggling, trying to stay quiet, or what I thought I should be doing in meditation, I just came to the present moment. And it really didn't change the heat or didn't change the fan, but it changed my attitude towards what was going on. And I found it really helpful, and I really held on to that. And it was just the acceptance of what actually was occurring on that retreat. I had to sit on the floor, in the Burmese position like this, even though my legs were screaming, at 21, 22, 23. I was a little older. But anyway, I had to do that, so the back hurt, and the legs hurt, and the knees hurt. There were chairs, but I wasn't going to do that. But anyway, so I began this process of learning some acceptance. And that would bring me much more into the present moment. So that was kind of an eye-opening for me. And then I was working with a teacher in Tibetan tradition. He's still teaching somewhat, Ken MacLeod. I don't know if that rings a bell for anybody. He's sort of up in Santa Rosa now, written a number of good books, very respected. And that's where I came up with this notion of that acceptance, that notion of that's what practice was about. It wasn't becoming something other than what I was. It wasn't trying to quiet the mind down so there was no thought, or anything like that. It was just the notion of being very, very present to my own unique experience. So I call that radical acceptance. And then, like I said, all of a sudden this book pops out of the woodwork, Radical Acceptance. I thought, well, I'm pretty cool. I came up with that title all by myself. But anyway, I have not read the book. I should have read the book, but I have not read the book. I probably will now. I found there's used copies online for $5. I found that out today. So if anybody's real interested, you can. It's probably worth reading. But I did do a synopsis of it a little bit in a summary. So acceptance, how does it work with acceptance? In Buddhism, it's considered there's two wings of the dharma. One is wisdom, and the other wing is compassion. The two wings of the dharma. And the way she describes it, the wisdom aspect of it is clear seeing. Clear seeing. What is actually occurring in the moment for you personally? And really what is happening outside of you in the moment. What are you seeing? And a lot of that clear seeing can be non-verbal, non-conceptual, very intuitive in a sense, at least for me. So that the clear seeing. And then the compassion part, at least for you personally, is I'm just the way I am. Maybe there's circumstances in my past that led to this. With the way and this kind of creates the situation I'm in now, and so to have compassion for for yourself, self-compassion, and then as you look out in the world and you see so much suffering, so much dukkha, have compassion for others out in the world. And the other thought that came up to me when I was getting prepared for this, and you may have noticed this too. Awakening can be one insult after another. You ever notice that? That all of a sudden you start to wake up to all the stuff that's going on in your life, and things come bubbling up with this meditation practice, and you're like, it's good to have a lot of self-compassion. It's good to have a lot of self-compassion. It's good to do the practice and know that, all those magazines where it says you're going to become peaceful and happy and, I don't know, what are the angels flying? I don't know what it is, all that stuff. A lot of times it's not that way, right? A lot of times it's like, oh my goodness, I can't do this anymore. So compassion, self-compassion, and compassion for others.
Hi, I'm Franz with Long Beach Meditation. Your gracious generosity makes this programming possible. If you found this video to be of value, please consider making a donation here. If you'd like to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to stay in touch with Long Beach Meditation, click here to subscribe. Thank you, and may all beings be happy.